Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's hard to stay consistent. I'm not even gonna sit there and say it's easy. It's hard. We all have goals, right? We all have things that we want to do. We all have things that we want to accomplish. So when it's time to accomplish them, almost all the time you have to be consistent with the daily action to accomplish what you said you was going to accomplish, right? So let me pose a question: why is it so hard to be consistent? Why is it so hard to do that little small detail just to get 1% better in achieving your goal? So I don't necessarily think I need to explain what consistency is. It's just the act of doing something every single day, whether it be something big or something small. But what I really want to talk about is why it's so hard to stay consistent. And one of the things I want to kind of talk about is the mental side of it. So obviously, most of us are working 9 to 5s. We have daily stressors. We have to pay bills. Whatever the case may be, life is just going life. So when it comes to being consistent with literally anything, any goal that you set yourself out to, you just take a moment and think about that. What is it that you want to get better at? What is something that you want to start doing? What is something that you want to, anything that's a little bit of an uncomfortable spot for you? What is it that you want to do? Now, of course, like I said before, we have life that throws things at us and it gets us off track. For me personally, it could be um, exercising. I used to be working out like 6 times a week. I used to exercise 6 times a week along with working a regular 9 to 5. Now, I only work out maybe 3 times a week. And that's okay with me because I'm still consistent in the gym. Yeah, it's not going as frequently, but if I go there 3 times a week and still get the same amount of work done, along with whatever I have to do in my daily life, I'm okay with that. Discipline, discipline, discipline. So, discipline plays a huge, important role along with consistency. If you're not disciplined, you're not going to be consistent. It's just that simple. So, oftentimes people have motivating factors or something that's more of like a rush when they start something. They're really excited to do it, they're passionate for it, and then eventually that motivation runs out. Now, once that motivation runs out, what is going to be there to keep you being consistent, keep you doing those daily little things that you said you were going to do? Discipline. You still have to be disciplined enough to do those things even when you don't feel like it. And trust me, I know how it is. You had a bad day at work, you struggling to pay something, or whatever the case may be, it's going to take the joy and passion out of whatever said project that you're doing. And this is what I want to talk about discipline. You still have to realize, like, okay, look, the motivation is gone, the passion is gone. I don't feel like it. I want to go to sleep. I want to just chill and relax. Like, you know what? I give. I don't want to do it anymore. But you have to also think back to yourself when you first started. You started. That's more than what most people can say. As long as you started it and you've been consistent with it, what is there to stop you from like falling off track and staying off track? So yeah, we're gonna fall off track. We're gonna have our bumps and bruises, our speed bumps, our detours, and things like that. But if we fall off track, we can easily get back on it. So people loud. The last thing that I want to ask a question on or leave you with is like, how can I make being consistent less overwhelming? First thing, set little goals. It's that simple. You don't have to set very big goals. It could be a short term goal. I recommend short term goals rather than long term goals because if you can, most people like to see like immediate results or very short term results. If I doing something and I'm not going to see results until like 6 months to a year from now, me personally, I'm going to get a little discouraged. But if I can see something a month from now, even if it's a little progress to whatever it is I'm doing, I want to keep going. I want to keep going. So my advice, my recommendation is just start with something extremely small. And then as you get consistent with that one small thing, add another small thing, then another, then another. And then eventually you realize like, dang, I just stacked on 5 things and I just had one thing to do not too long ago. So to make it feel less overwhelming for you, start small and gradually stack up. Do not put so much on your plate at one time because it's going to become overwhelming. It's going to become too much to bear. And as soon as you stack so much on, put too much on for you at one time or too much, it's gonna become very unmotivating. It's gonna become very frustrating. It's gonna become very burdensome, and we don't want to feel like a burden. We don't like feeling like a burden at all. So please just start small, and once you start small, stack up. Once you start stacking up, you're gonna realize, look, I'm good. I can do this. So look, I'm telling you, this is your time now to be consistent. It's time for you to achieve all your goals. This is a time for you to do everything that you said you were gonna do.